Arvind, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. We also have Dr. Nandita. What we'll try and do is that over the next couple of minutes, also take some questions from our guests as well as viewers who would be joining us, because there are a lot of concerns. And the idea right now is to ensure that if at all any parent has any sort of concerns, they can get in touch, and we'll try and put those questions to our experts joining us on this broadcast. Dr. Arvind, let me just begin. I was discussing this with Dr. Nandita with regards to concerns. The reason why I'm focusing on the concern areas right now, because in terms of a larger picture abroad, we have seen the kind of concerns that have been raised in the United Kingdom also, and I was going through certain articles, Dr. Arvinder. What the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are essentially talking about is that since April 2021, there have been more than 1,000 reports of cases of myocarditis. It's an inflammation of the heart muscle, and there have been certain concerns that have essentially been raised. Would you say that with the clinical trials taking place into three groups, divided into three groups, it's safer for children to be vaccinated at this point? And I want you to first address that, and then we'll perhaps break it down to further areas of concern.
I agree. First of all, I agree with the other guests that it's absolutely welcome news, because as the schools and colleges open, children are now obviously going to be the most vulnerable group to contract COVID. So they are a risk for themselves. And since we are 40% children, basically the 40% of the population in India is children, they could also be responsible for sparking off the third wave. So it is really important to protect our children. And parents will obviously have some concerns on the negative side. There may be some vaccine hesitancy, but they need to understand that eventually the incidence of side effects, especially with Covaxin, there hasn't been that many reports of myocarditis. In the West, the myocarditis has happened mainly with the mRNA vaccines, but not with Covaxin. Although we don't have the complete data as of now, but we are given to understand that the safety and immunogenicity of Covaxin in children has been exactly the same as in adults. Now, the formal approval by the DCGI hasn't come through yet, and we hope with the formal approval, the data will be made public. But as far as I understand, this is going to be safe for all children from 2 to 18 years, and parents must absolutely protect their children and also protect the society. We must all go for vaccinating our children. And I also agree that it's not possible to enforce COVID-appropriate behavior among them. So this is the best way to protect them.